Good evening, Bridgeport. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Thank you for joining us. Today's our June 11th meeting. It is 7:47. If you could please rise and pledge the flag with me. Thank you, everyone. Angela, roll call, please.
Laura Hauk,
Here.
Kyle Schenk,
Here.
Amy High,
Here.
Megan Nolan,
Here.
Diane Gundrum,
Here.
Tony Heil,
Here.
Saba Al-Zayed.
I am here. Thank you. I'd like to welcome Mr. Van Wyck here in place of Mr. Bello. We do miss Mr. Bello, but excited. I apologize. Mr. Peters, I have quite a list here. I apologize about that. Very excited to have you here. Keith is setting me up. It's not my fault. Welcome to Bridgeport. Floor is yours.
Just for record, we were in executive session from 6:45 to 7:30 discussing personnel matters for the borough.
Thank you so much. Keith, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, President. First up for council consideration, approval of the May 14th, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved?
Second.
A motion from Ms. High, a second from Mr. Schenk. Do we have any comments or questions from the public or council? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Next up for council consideration by the entire meeting, will be a liquor license hearing regarding the premises at 101 East 4th Street, Dino's Pizza and Pasta.
All right, I think for this, we will need a motion to dispense from the regular order of business to hold a liquor license meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Schenk, a second from Ms. Gundrum. So we will have the liquor license hearing now.
All right, thank you. And if the applicant wishes to step forward, I believe that Mr. Mazzatelli, Mr. Van Wyck, and Mr. Gambone may or may not be present as representatives of the applicant.
Yeah, my name is Joe Van Wyck. I'm the attorney for the applicant, and we have the applicant right next to me. Would you please identify yourself?
Yes, my name is Luigi Mazzitelli. I'm the owner of Dino's Pizza and Pasta in Bridgeport, 101 East 4th Street.
Okay. So would you tell the board what the square footage of your restaurant is?
Approximately about 2,100, I would say, 2,100 square feet.
Okay. And how would you describe your restaurant?
Family-oriented pizza, sandwich, family style.
And just to kind of clear the air, because I know you have other matters pending before the board, that you're here just to get approval of resolution so that you can get an economic development liquor license, which you have to apply to the Liquor Control Board for. You understand that that is just for your location as it's configured today?
Yes, I do.
All right, and it's my understanding, and I don't have anything to do with that part of it, but you're seeking to eventually expand that?
Eventually, it's in.
And you understand that you'll have to come before the board again, or the zoning hearing board, or get all the approvals necessary to do that?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay, all right, so just with the understanding that we're just talking about the restaurant as it sits right now, I'm going to continue asking the question.
Attorney Van Wyck, just so that we catch you on the recording, could you please speak closer into the microphone? I want
I'm sorry.
For posterity's sake. Thank you,
Sure.
sir.
Sure, absolutely. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Do you propose that your restaurant will have a bar? You better vote.
Yeah, it would have like a service, kitchen server from the kitchen. We have like a service area.
And what would the hours of operation be?
Whatever, probably the same hours we have now.
Okay. And if the application is approved here, the resolution, and it's approved by the Liquor Control Board, will your food sales be at least 50% of the total sales?
Yes, for sure, if not more.
Okay. How many people do you have employed at the restaurant right now?
Probably I've said 12 to 15 with the drivers and all.
Right. And in the event that you're successful in getting a liquor license, do you intend to hire more people?
Yeah, that's the plan, of course.
And do you have any idea, about how many people would take? Just
I would say at least 4 or 5, it depends how busy, we get.
Right. And if the application is granted, do you anticipate making any capital improvements to the building?
Yes, indeed.
Right. I don't want to get into all that because that's for another day, but just generally, if you could tell the board, we'd be making significant improvements to the property?
Yes, I've tried to, I was here a couple of weeks ago, so as everybody knows, we tried to enlarge and bring like a bar area and enlarge the restaurant a little bit so we can serve the community better. And with all those houses that are going in the back, we think that we need another place that at least can be able to, support the people that want to go out and have some to eat and have a beer or whatnot.
And did you attempt to get a liquor license on the open market?
Well, because I'm intending to expanding, it would be not feasible, like as far as economical to invest for both, either one or the other. So
I guess I didn't ask that right. Did you hire Mr. Gambone to get you a
Yes.
license? Okay.
yes,
Did he try to get you one on the open market?
yes,
Or was he able to find you one that you could afford?
no.
Okay. After you went through that process, did you ask Mr. Gambone to assist you in getting an economic development license?
Yes, I did.
Why do you feel it's not economically feasible for you to pay the market rate to get a license?
Because with the outgoing price of the license and investment that I plan to do for the addition, it would be way too much. It would be out of my budget, I would say.
Okay. Now, I plan on calling both of Mr. Gambones briefly, but if anybody has a question for this gentleman,
I didn't catch the answer to the question. Will you be expecting to open a bar with the current footprint before any expansion? Are you expecting to put a bar in?
We like to, more than a bar, like more serving, like a serving area, so people can come in and eat if they want to. It's not going to be a bar where you're going to sit down because I don't have the.
That was my question. If you're going to be able to reconfigure, if you're planning on reconfiguring
Like
inside
maybe
there.
have a little server area people can order at the table if they want a glass wine, if they want a martini, be able to make.
But this will be generally serviced with the meals.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah,
thanks.
nobody's going to come in because I want to have somebody sit down and just.
I did have a question about what you plan on serving with your liquor license. Are you planning on doing beer and liquor as well?
Sorry. Yes, we'll have beer and, beer, wine, some cocktails that we can make. So
Do you currently serve? I mean, I know that's a different license for takeout alcoholic beverages. Does that fall under the same category with your liquor license, or is that completely separate?
You can probably sell, I guess, beers.
Was that something that you plan to do with your liquor license?
If somebody comes in, wants to get a sandwich, the convenience too, get a pizza or get dinner, get a six-pack, don't have to go 2 stops. So we offer like a little more convenience for the people, for the customers.
Are you also prepared for any employees that you have to come in to take any proper testing for serving alcohol?
course.
There's so many different programs out there. Just knowing that you're serving alcohol within your establishment is one thing. When you're doing it, when you're having it to go, it kind of falls out of your responsibility, but making sure that, your employees have the proper training because if you're having people that were already there that weren't trained to serve liquor, I would only ask that you have that done because it's very important.
I will make sure of that because I don't want to get in any type of legal and serve somebody underage. I would get the machine to check the ID and all that. So I would do whatever it takes to, protect myself.
Right. It's also just coming from a restaurant background, I can just say that, being in an environment that didn't have liquor and then has it, it's a really important tool for the people who have never served liquor before to know, the ins and outs and what they are responsible for while they're serving somebody liquor, because some bartenders don't realize that. Even
Oh, no,
servers, even servers, you know what I mean? They don't know until you give them the opportunity that they're responsible for every drink that they serve someone. So it's just, I think that would be a great idea for you to do for your employees.
I'm aware that then I'm sure that I'm going to send, the program to train them properly. I've been doing this for a long time, and I had a restaurant before with the liquor line, so I know exactly the way it works. So it shouldn't be not a problem for me to.
Great, because again, like when you're going from not having liquor to having liquor, it's just, I've seen in the past that it's important to make sure they have all the information to do it properly.
Whatever programs and that I have to follow to make sure the staff that handles the alcohol will be trained properly.
I think TIPS is still around. That's a good one, a good program that they can even just do on their own.
Yeah, fine. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I have a question about over here, the value of the liquor license for the ones that were researched. What were the price ranges that you were looking at, and what so we can see the value?
I'm going to have Mr. Gambone testify to that. He's the one that actually made the calls on his
Okay, I
behalf.
jumped the gun. Thank you.
Okay. And one question I did forget to ask you. How long have you been in Bridgeport?
21 years.
And have you been operating a restaurant for 21 years here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If there's no more questions, then I'd like to call Mr. Gambone, Jr. All right. Mr. Gambone, what do you do?
I'm a realtor, business broker, specialize in liquor licensing.
And you and your dad, how long you been doing liquor licensing?
40 years, he's over that. He's like 55.
Right, right. And what steps did you take on the applicant's behalf to find him an existing license?
Well, I kind of stay aware of what liquor licenses are being sold and what's going on in the market, since it's especially business of mine. So I've looked at the licenses, and I'm always in contact with a lot of licensees. So there's licenses in safekeeping, and there's also licenses that are active. So to answer the question, I contacted probably 80 to 85% of licensees in Montgomery County. At that point, there's out of those licenses in safekeeping, there's probably 3 licenses that are available for anywhere between $350,000 to $400,000. That's what the value is. Now, there's some licenses that are available on active properties, but they're tied in with real estate, either a long-term lease or the people on the real estate, and want to sell everything for $800,000 to $3.5 million. And to answer the other question, the state has a responsible alcohol management program. So when the license gets approved, the manager of the license has to, within 180 days, meet the responsible alcohol management program with the state of Pennsylvania. And normally they train all their employees. It's easier to get that done, and they'll come in and actually do it at the premises. So that answers your question too. Sorry, Joe.
That's all right. Were you able to find a license on the open market that?
Not that he could. We were talking about a budget, and we were looking at $100,000. I couldn't find one. There's no licenses available. The last one in Montgomery County was just sold for $385. So there's nothing available at the 100,000 range.
Okay. And just for the board's notice, if you approve the resolution, we still have to file an application with the Liquor Control Board. In every one of these applications, they have a hearing, which is like a regular court hearing, except it's in front of an administrative law judge. And you have a lot to prove, everything that I've talked about and a lot more. And so even if the borough grants the resolution, that's only the beginning of the process. We have to go through the Liquor Control Board and have a hearing there. Then their hearing officer will write a report, make a recommendation to the actual board, and it will go before the Liquor Control Board, and they'll actually vote on whether they're going to approve the license or not. So, I mean, that's the process. And the way that we're doing this one, we're doing it as Dino's exists right now. So not only does he have to come back to you if he wants to do an expansion, since it's not prior approval with the Liquor Control Board, he would have to come back, satisfy the borough first for any expansion that he does, and then he would still have to go back to the Liquor Control Board to get an extension of premises for whatever the new configuration was. I just want everyone to know that.
Is the likelihood of that getting accepted high? So assume, he gets it and then he expands. Is there a likelihood that it would be rejected, or is that smooth usually?
It would be smooth, except that he has to comply with not only all the zoning ordinances for Bridgeport, but all the liquor control laws and regulations. Right. So whatever their thing is, I mean, they could restrict them too. Doubt that they would. I mean, if he's, you always try to work with everybody to make sure everybody's on, the same level about it. But yeah, they have their requirements and you have to satisfy them.
Okay, thank you.
And given the potential for expansion, which takes time, so even if all of this is approved and everything's great, like on the expansion level, and it's going to go forward, that wouldn't be done for a year. Would there be another opportunity in months or in a year if this doesn't go through, not on our end, just in general, to apply for another liquor license or look again, or even for this kind of license? Would there be another opportunity?
There is, but you're only allowed to get 2 of these licenses a year in, a county. So that kind of restricts it. So luckily, we're not in there yet. So,
All right, we're not in there yet.
yeah, we can't go in until, we get a resolution. But once we get in there, then, we'd have to go through that process. That process can take anywhere from 6 months to a year through the Liquor Control Board. If they approve it, great. If they don't, then, we'd have to come back, start all over again.
So are you competing with other entities then to get these 2 special licenses?
No, because anybody can file them. So,
That's what I mean. So if other people file, then are they going to
Yeah,
have
if
to
they file, then you have
choose?
to wait.
Okay.
yep.
Mr. Peters? Yes. There you are. Just assuming that the council is supportive of what we want to do here, the solicitor's office has taken a look at everything and has listened here, and the legal and regulatory side of this request for council is all buttoned down?
Yeah, we reviewed everything, and everything looks perfect to us, so we're in support of whatever council wants to go.
Thank you.
I have spoke with Mr. Bello. I've corresponded with him. I provided him all the laws and regulations, and we've had a chance to, chat about it. I mean, no idea what.
Yeah, we were informed by Mr. Bello. I just want to make sure for the record that we had it out here.
All right. And then if there's no more questions for Mr. Gambone, I have the other Mr. Gambone. I'll make it as brief as I can.
I can speak loud enough so you won't need a microphone. Okay?
Well,
I think you can hear me.
I think that it's probably wireless. You might be able to take it down. Yeah, right.
all right. We'll stand together. All right, Mr. Gambone, please introduce yourself to the board.
My name is Salvatore D. Gambone. I'm a real estate broker.
How long have you been dealing with liquor licenses?
64 years.
You're pretty.
Yes. Am I close enough? Oh, okay. First of all, I graduated from Drexel, and I had courses in economics, accounting, and real estate, so I've been educated in it. But when we get to a hearing at the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, we have an economist who works with us, who's on the staff at the University of Pennsylvania, and Haverford College in this type of thing, economics and community development. I mean, she might have even worked with Bridgeport, her company, but she has done work in Norristown and many other places. So she will get into the details, the nuts and bolts of an economic advantage to a municipality through her experience, and the reports that she makes for us are very thorough and very complete. And they have to be presented at this hearing with the Liquor Control Board when we have it. But I'm going to just give you an idea tonight that since I became familiar with Bridgeport my whole life, living in Norristown, I was born and raised there. I remember, I know that during the time that I've been active, there have been 7 restaurant liquor licenses that have left Bridgeport. And the reason for it is, back in the day, liquor licenses were worth $10,000, $20,000. But as the populations grew in all the surrounding areas, the Liquor Control Board then changed the law so that liquor licenses became countywide, so you could move them anywhere in the county. So what happens, at one time, Norristown probably had 80 liquor licenses in it, because for every 500 people in the municipality, they would issue a liquor license. And Norristown had about 40,000 people, so that meant they had about 80 licenses. Today they have about 8, and they still have about 40,000 people because they keep leaving there. Because what happens, King of Prussia, Plymouth Meeting, all the big centers want these licenses. And in municipalities like Norristown, Bridgeport, boroughs, there's no ground to expand because most of the chains that go in there, they want 2 acres of ground or more. So they won't put a restaurant like that in boroughs. And that's the reason why the Liquor Control Board, when they changed it to countywide, liquor licenses left places like Bridgeport. And I could give you the name of the 7 restaurants because I used to eat in them. Rossi's had roast pork and roast beef sandwiches. Chickerine's had all kind of Italian food and clams and mussels. Desimone's were known for their cheesesteaks. There was a place called the Cheerio Cafe up there across from the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. They had, it was a nice seat-in restaurant, plus they had entertainment on weekends. And there was many of them. They all left because they could sell them for 3, 4. We sold them for as high as $500,000 3 years ago when the Giant and Acme was buying them. Now they're down to $385 because they know they're their only competition. So that's the reason why Bridgeport was a destination place, because we used to come in here and eat at the Friendship Grill, places like that, and they're just not here anymore. Now, Dino has a restaurant, and its food is excellent, the place is clean, and he's only going to have a service bar in his kitchen so that he can just serve like martinis, margaritas, stuff like that. He's not going to have shots and beers and have people hanging in there. And the other thing I advise him to do, and I advised him to this, I said, if people don't come in and eat food and sit at a table, they can't have a drink. Because you can't tie up a table for a guy that just wants to have a couple drinks. They have to eat food with their beer or with their food. So that's one advice I gave him, and I know other restaurants did that in Westchester and other places because each table is valuable to them. So they just don't want people to come in and drink. So I wanted you to know that he's going to concentrate on food and food only.
So is it your opinion after all these years that will be of economic benefit to Bridgeport to approve of this resolution?
How it will really help Bridgeport, and a lot of times you don't realize it, but I do because I work with liquor licenses. When you get a place like that a liquor license used to be in there. Iacovelli's had one, and the license left Bridgeport. But when you get a nice restaurant like that, and his place is successful now and it's nice, but once he gets to be able to sell people wine and good beer, imported beers and stuff, and signature drinks, you're going to have a little upscale crowd. Now, he's not looking for an upscale crowd like they did down at the 23 Roadhouse or whatever it's called. He wants the same people to come in, but just come up a little bit more. They can have a drink with their food, And then they'll start to get people from out of town that come in because his food is that good. I mean, I've eaten there many times before he called me for a liquor license. 5 years ago, I tried to talk him into getting one, and he said no, he wasn't ready. But I had lunch in there with clients and with friends and stuff like that. So I know that if he gets a license, his business will improve. He'll have a little more profit, and he's not overpaying for a license, so he can spend some money to make the outside even look a little nicer, so he'll attract more people. And that will encourage other businesses to come into Bridgeport. And that's what should be important to a council, to find other businesses to say, well, they were successful, so I'm going to follow them. And that would be important.
Economic development liquor license, it's not really transferable. It's not like you can't sell it on the open market.
Right.
So it doesn't, you don't buy it or do whatever you have to do to get it and be able to sell it.
Correct. See, Dino even asked me that question tonight again. I already told him twice. When they issue that license, that's being issued for that location in Bridgeport, in that restaurant, at that address, at 101 East 4th Street. It can't move out of that footprint. It can't move anywhere else in the town or any other part in the county. They stay there. Now, if he decides to retire, what he can do then is sell the stock in his corporation over to the next person, and they can just go in and operate, and as he can either keep the real estate or sell it to him. But that's the only way that liquor license will ever change hands is through corporate. You can't buy him for the price that the state charges, and the state only charges him $50,000 for the license, and then sell it for $400. You can't do that. Has to stay there.
Thank you for coming out. I think this is really great context, and thank you for bringing it to us. I think it seems like a huge value to a neighborhood that's looking to grow and improve and give a great quality of life to everyone that lives here.
The only thing that I would add was that I've gotten a number of these, probably about 15 of them. And just to give you an example, in Downingtown, the borough manager called me and asked me if I could help a young man, and he bought a building. No sooner he bought the building, he had a patio out front. Called me up a year later, and he enclosed the patio. A year after that, he put a room over top of the patio, and then a couple of years ago, the Rita's Water Ice next door worked a deal with him where he can use their whole parking lot, and he's going to end up buying the business from him, and then he'll expand his building again. And that was one. And Morrisville, I had the same situation, an Italian restaurant, super successful. Pottstown, a Mexican restaurant. Solderton, an Italian restaurant. Always Italian restaurants because they're the ones that are growing and putting effort into it, and people do enjoy the food, and they can expand and grow with success, you know. Okay, Joe says that's enough. Give me a microphone and I'll talk all night.
That's what I'm afraid of. That concludes the evidence that I wanted to present. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
It is always fun to hear the rundown of all the restaurants and places in town that people used to enjoy.
Thank you, Mr. Van Wyck. Thank you, Mr. Mazzatelli, and thank you, Mr. Gambone. We appreciate your insight.
We haven't voted yet. Oh, I thought you were leaving.
No. No, I believe President Al-Zayed is going to close the hearing at this time.
Yes, thank you for coming out for all the context. I would like a motion to resume our council meeting and close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing and resume council.
I'll second.
Motion from Mr. Hyle, second from Ms. Nolan. Do we have any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion carries, and we are back to our council meeting.
And on that note, for council consideration, we have a resolution 2024-26, approving the application of an economic development liquor license at the premises known as Dino's Pizza and Pasta, 101 East 4th Street.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Wait, so I just to clarify, I'm sorry, to clarify, he still has to apply for the actual liquor license. So how exactly are we approving it? I agree, I'm sorry to delay, but.
So because it's the economic development, it has to get approved by the borough first. Then from here, then they'll make our application to the Liquor Control Board, which is going to be an arduous process for them. So we're just giving them the ability to now go to the Liquor Control Board to ask for this type of liquor license.
That's great. Is this like a formal approval, or is it just giving it okay? Because it's just the legalities of it. I just, sorry, wanted to clarify that.
Well, it's a formal approval because we're doing a resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Heil. We had a motion for Mr. Shank and a second for Ms. Snellen. Do we have any additional questions or comments from the public or council?
I just want to say that whatever the outcome is, you're still perfect, and your pizza is great, and we just love coming to you guys.
If you could work in an alcoholic cannoli when this is all done.
The Frosty Falls gets one.
I was going to say, I'll put my ice cream with that, too. I'm down.
A collaboration.
I'm not. Nothing that you're going to say is. My vote is not conditional on anything. I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, thank you.
Fine.
I like the way you're thinking, Kyle.
All right, any additional comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations on this
Good
first
luck.
step.
Gentlemen, again, thank you for your time, for coming out this evening. You're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the evening's proceedings. However, you can certainly leave and call it an evening. So, thank you, and no one's going to look twice if you head on out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Thanks again.
Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, next up for council consideration, authorization to conduct testing for a full-time police officer. Chief Beretta, is there anything that you have to say on this matter?
I'm for it. As you've listened to me ad nauseum talk about planning, and planning is a good thing. Plan for the future. Plan to be prepared. Work with civil service to create lists, so we're never caught short. There's no downside to this process, and allow us to move forward and working with civil service to make sure that we have a good list in place when needs arise.
And when would this testing take place? This would be in like September-ish, right?
That would be the plan, Vice President Heil. As long as we can meet the deadlines in between that for everything, that would be a perfect timing.
And just to clarify, we'll do the testing. That does not mean that we are obligated to hire one at all or two right away. It would just give us the opportunity to hire within the next year, correct?
Correct. It just to set us up for success for being prepared.
In other words, if we would decide next year to hire a full-time officer, it would be a more streamlined process because we would have some of the legwork already done.
Correct. We could have most of the processes themselves done, and as long as the list is good, then we can move forward on that.
A motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the testing in September for an officer.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Mr. Heil, second from Ms. Hauk. Are there any comments from council? I have a comment. I think that I'd like to commend our police department. I think you guys do quite a bit for our community. We feel protected. I think you're very responsive. In the last year, we've implemented a lot of process, and everyone has been very responsive to that. So I thank you for all the extra effort and extra work. As council, we do our due diligence in hiring and increasing and expanding. And we do think this is vital to the safety of our citizens, and take that very seriously, as we know that you give us recommendations constantly of what needs to happen, and you really have a finger on the pulse. And I appreciate you for that. Thank you for all your efforts, and for all the additional requests and for providing us all the data that we asked for. So I think that's really important, and I feel we're making a good decision tonight.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Are there any additional comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you.
All right, very good. Next up for council consideration, a promotion of Orlando Velasquez to the classification of Public Works skilled laborer. Members of council, in your packets, you will see a memorandum both from Public Works Foreman Lang recommending to me the promotion of Mr. Velasquez, as well as a recommendation letter from me to proceed with this promotion. Mr. Velasquez has been with the borough for just about 5 years, has demonstrated an exemplary attendance record, a willingness to learn, an aptitude to learn, evidence of proficiency in a number of different operating equipment, and along with the rest of our current assortment of public works and sewer employees, just a jam-up guy and a heck of a person and a great employee.
I would just like to comment that I've seen him around at a lot of our borough events. For example, movie night, where he stays late and helps out. And I think he's a great guy, and we're lucky to have him. I'll make the motion.
I'll second, and I agree. He's an absolute joy to work with, as are, all of our public works crews, but tonight's about him.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Hyatt, second from Ms. Nolan. Do we have any questions or comments from the public or council?
There was Mr. Truman, I think you and I were having a conversation one time about some folks, and I believe I recall you referring to Mr. Velasquez as a walking, talking morale booster for Borough Hall. He just brings that kind of attitude, so I'm very happy about this.
Any additional comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business to discuss this evening? Seeing none, we can proceed to committee reports. Are there any committee reports to share?
We had our Halloween committee on June 4th, which was very successful. We are really starting to kind of move things along and get a lot of items kind of put in place for the parade and for the events. As always, if anyone wants to join us, you're more than welcome. Shoot me an email, shoot you all the information. But really excited about our efforts there, and you can look forward to some more updates soon.
All right. Thank you, President Al-Zayed. Seeing no further committee.
Well, last week, Mr. Shank, Ms. Gundrum, and I. Well, no, you weren't there. You were away. We had, and Mr. Truman, we had our planning meeting with the county. They will be coming to us very soon with updates on zoning and comprehensive plan. I'm very excited after a long time of fruition to simplify our zoning rules and to make things more business friendly, which is going to be great for Dino's and other businesses, while also being attuned to the needs of residents. So that's going to be coming this summer in a very soon future meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Heil. Any other committee reports? All right. Seeing none, we can proceed to the mayor's report. Mayor Jaxier, do you have anything to share this evening?
Of course I do. Thank you. I just want to say a big thank you goes out to everyone who joined me for the birthday bingo celebration at Bridgeport Fire Department's biweekly bingo. It was a very exciting and intense event. And it's actually happening again this Thursday. If you wanted to try it but haven't been able to make it yet, I'd recommend it. But bring some aspirin. You might need it. It's very fun, though. Just as a last-minute reminder, Family Fun Night will be happening here at Borough Hall this Friday, June 14th at 6:30 p.m. It's a free event. We'll be providing pizza and games, which should make for a very fun evening, so I can't wait to see everyone there. For those interested, I have my annual Pride flag up in my office for the month of June. You can view it from the outside of the building at any time, since it's on my window, or you can view it from inside when you visit me at my office hours. Those are going to be taking place on Thursday, June 27th at 6:30 p.m. Happy Pride Month. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to the Chief's report. Chief Beretta.
Good evening, Bridgeport. Some overnight, yesterday into this morning, 200, 300 block of West 2nd, West 3rd. We had some theft from motor vehicles. We've already, we believe we have a suspect in custody. We arrested somebody shortly thereafter for loitering and prowling around a residence, so he was unhappy. But we're going to use our DNA, touch DNA, hopefully to match it to the other thefts from motor vehicles. We've had a couple recent issues. If you've Upper Moraine, lots of other different places where you have the airsoft use of the Orbeez guns, the airsoft guns. They have something called the assassination game where they dress up and they shoot pneumatic type of weapons with these small little circular projectiles at each other. Sometimes it creates things or situations where people are unsure of what's actually going on rather than from what it is, and that can create a problem. So we had a couple contacts recently over Friday, and yesterday. The last time we secured the 3 airsoft weapons, because if you didn't know, under Borough Code 263-1 to 263-5, it is unlawful to walk on a borough street with an airsoft, a BB gun, a pneumatic, or hydraulic-related weapon such as that. To shoot them, to possess them, we can seize them and eventually destroy them. So just to keep people safe, we don't want to have any other circumstance run out where people misinterpret what's going on. And so we talked to the moms and dads of Bridgeport. Don't have your kids out there, especially dressed up in ninja-type gear and balaclavas and things like that, even if they're playing. If you're going to play that, do it on private property someplace out of public purview. Mr. Dante Coles, who's a Malvern prep teacher, lives in Upper Moraine, isn't part of their community, visited and wants to talk up and connect with our other sports programs in Bridgeport. His wife is a counselor at Upper Moraine Area High School. So he was a sports standout in high school. I've known him a long time, and then becoming a security guard and finish up his education and being a teacher. So I suspect a lot of good things will be happening with him trying to integrate and take care of Bridgeport's kids and have some other people coming here for their certain ways to do so and looking after our children along with everything else. Carnival, just to remind people that if you're going to ride a bicycle, not on the grounds, park, lock it someplace else off of the grounds if you're going to bring your bicycle to the grounds. And we're looking forward to a very festive and safe carnival between the 18th and the 22nd. To that end, we're getting some of our Bridgeport crossing guards to further make safe some of the main pathways through the borough, off of Depot Street and off of Mill Street, so that if you're coming closer to the epicenter of the event, that it'll be just a little bit safer for everyone. So thank you for your attention and have a wonderful evening.
All right, thank you, Chief. Moving on to new business. Are there any items of new business to discuss this evening? Okay, seeing none, we can move on to announcements. And there are 3 announcements that I wanted to make. Number 1, regarding three upcoming events. First and foremost, Mayor, thank you for reminding me and refreshing my memory on the game night coming up this Friday. Looking forward to that. Additionally, we have the Community Yard Sale Day is coming up 2 Saturdays from now, June 22nd. This is the day that was deemed via resolution several years back by Borough Council, where everybody in the borough, if they so chose, could hold a yard sale at their property and get the standard $25 yard sale permit fee waived. The rain date would be June 29th. However, So far, I don't think rain is in the forecast for that day, but again, we are about 11 or 12 days away. So yeah, you can pull an application off of the Borough website, and you can email or hand in person that application and get it into us, and we will help advertise all of the participants for Yard Sale Day on the 22nd. Next up, I'm going to jump around here. Come out to our June movie night this coming Saturday, June 15th, where we will be showing the Super Mario Brothers movie. Big hit from last year. And sunset will be right around 8:30 or 8:40, and that's generally where we try to start rolling the film. So come on out to Borough Hall parking lot right here, 63 West 4th Street, and hope to see you there. And then finally, we have the Bridgeport Carnival coming Tuesday, June 18th to the 22nd. First 3 nights, 6 to 10 p.m. Last 2 nights, Friday and Saturday, 3 to 10 p.m. The couple things new this year. Number one, the Bridgeport Fire Company is going to be having their own food vendor stand throughout the duration of the carnival, right across the street in front of their garage doors. They're going to be selling hot dogs, burgers, sausages, fried dough, a bunch of different things. So come out and give them your support. We are going to be having the beer garden and live music all 5 nights this year. You can check out Facebook or the website, or the Borough website, for a full list of the great musical acts that we have this year. And in addition, we will have some fun local artists each night. Well, the first 4 nights of the carnival, whether that's glitter tattoo artists, face painters, balloon twisters, a lot of variety. So 6:30 to 8:30 each of the first 4 nights, Monday through Friday, or Tuesday through Friday rather. We will have that available free of charge to the kids. And then finally, on Saturday, June 22nd, from 3 to 7 p.m., we will have our local vendors market, where we host some great local vendors right on the other side of the street, right in front of the bandstand and the beer garden. And I want to scramble and tell you the names of those bands. Or excuse me, the names of those vendors, excuse me. Where is it? There we go. I just finalized the list earlier, bear with me. So we have Silver Rose by Nancy, the Bridgeport Rib House, Donnie Handbags, Bridgeport Police Association, Ibiza, Junebug Sweet Treats, Italia's Treasures, Frosty Falls Ice Cream, although they may not be there if they're unable to submit their registration form.
It's fine.
Inspirations by Ashley and Natural Body Essentials. So we have a lot of variety. Come on out for 5 more days of affordable family fun this coming week. Carnival, as always, the Midway, operated by Swyka's Amusements. Be there or truly be square. Any other announcements?
I have unless President Alzad has something. I have 2 real quick ones. First, this past weekend, if everybody remembers, was National Frosty Falls Day on Saturday, and I was able to go down and celebrate. Councilwoman Hauk is much too modest, so she's not going to bring it up, but I will. It was a great event. You're a gem down there, Laura. Thank you for everything you do.
Thanks for bringing your dad, Kyle. I really appreciated that. And your grandmom, too.
And my grandma.
your mom.
And my mom. Yes, and my mom.
I mean, monumental.
My mom, my dad, and my grandmother came, and everybody was very appreciative of the ice cream. Number 2, we have Mr. Peters here today. Mr. Bello isn't with us. He's celebrating a birthday with his family tonight. I understand it's a mile marker birthday. It's some anniversary of his 40th, we'll call it. But happy birthday to Mr. Bello.
Happy birthday, Mr. Bello. Thanks, Kyle.
I just wanted to quickly note, engineer Mr. Phillips did notify us prior to the meeting that he had an impromptu emergency hearing in another one of his client municipalities that I believe the residents might be showing up with pitchforks and torches. And since we didn't have anything engineering related on the agenda tonight, we gave him some dispensation to go tend to that fire first. So that is why we do not have Mr. Phillips here this evening. Moving on, public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to come forward with a comment this evening?
I have a couple things I just wanted to bring up quickly. First of all, happy birthday to our mayor and our council president, Sama. So happy birthday to both of you. Secondly, to congratulate the council president and others, we had a great session here with the fourth graders from Bridgeport Elementary recently to talk about council, hold a mock council. And the chief was there, Steve Wanzik was there, Mr. Truman was there. It went really well, and the fourth grade gave to me this whole packet of thank you notes, all handwritten, hand-drawn. So I want to share that with everyone. They can look at their own time. So I think that really touched something with them. They really appreciated it. And lastly, I just want to thank the mayor for recommending me for the Cecil Lebernight Award. It was for 10 years of service on Borough Council with the Pennsylvania Society of the PSAB, the Borough Association. Sorry, and I'm wearing the pin. I have it in my office. It was great for going there and getting recognized for 10 years on Borough Council, and I really appreciate the opportunity to serve here. I think that getting a plaque is a great honor, but the best honor is it's very hard to get people to care about running for office. As you all know, it's hard to get people to be involved in public service in any way whatsoever. And so the best accomplishment to me is that hopefully we've created an environment and successes here where we attract good quality people like our current people here on council to want to serve. And so it's truly an honor to serve with all of you. And that was what I was thinking of when I got that. So thank you all.
Congratulations, Tony. I think that's a huge honor and a really great accomplishment.
Well said, Tony. Congrats on that.
Actually, one final item that I also forgot to mention. For the Community of Colors project, I actually attended the elementary school this morning for their final day, and they were raving about the program. They're really excited. All the kids are very excited about having seen their art around the town, so really happy that they want to continue to do this with us, and so much so that they gave us additional art for the summertime. So we will not have an art desert in Bridgeport over the summertime. We actually have additional art. It has already gone up in 4th Street Cafe and Phoenix Therapy, so if you'd like to see it, they did a fantastic job displaying it. I recommend everybody stopping by. I will be posting Phoenix Therapy's hours of operations since they're just a little bit different. But generally speaking, if you show up during the day, they'll be available and typically before 3:30. So really encourage everybody to go check that out. The art's really cool this month. So we'll keep you updated on the rest of the businesses for the summertime. And that's all we had for my points.
All right. Thank you, VP Heil. Thank you, President Al-Zayed. No members of the public appear to wish to speak this evening. So
Motion to adjourn.
Let me finish.
I'll second.
So if council would like to not jump the gun and patiently wait, they can certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Heil. We have a motion to adjourn 8:40, and we are adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night.